Oh, that's better. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Well, are you happy? I really hope so. Ooh. I wonder how many people in the world would really like to put this over my mouth. I'm sure there must be quite a few of you out there. Some of you watching right now, maybe. Hello and welcome. Here we go then. Where are we? What day is it? Oh my goodness. It's Tuesday. I hope you are feeling good today. It is great to be with you once again on day 15. Yes, we have made it all the way halfway through October with yet another 16 days still to go. So we still have 16 more days to go with our daily live streams. For those who are wondering, yes, I am here every day during October, and it has nothing to do with Brexit. I can promise you right now, 31 days of live English to celebrate my 13th anniversary on YouTube. Can you believe this year I will have been doing this for 13 years? And there you can see the times and also the days. Basically, I am with you every single day during October. Am I crazy? Maybe I am the first person ever to do this. I think I might be. Ooh, Mr. Duncan. Ooh, look at you. You are such a groundbreaker. A person who is a groundbreaker, or if a person breaks new ground, it means they do something that has never been done before. Maybe they go in a certain direction that has never been pursued, or maybe they try something that has never been done before. So perhaps I am breaking new ground here by doing a daily live stream every single day. How do I feel after 15 days? I feel all right, actually, to be honest with you. In the morning when I wake up, I always feel a little bit excited because I know I am going to be live on YouTube with you. I hope you are feeling good. Lots of things to talk about today, some big topics today. First of all, we are going to talk about censorship. Censorship. There are many words connected to this particular action. So when we say censorship, we mean something that has been disallowed or removed, and so on. Later on, we will take a look at this particular subject, and of course, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because at the moment in the news, a lot of people are talking about censorship in certain countries. We will talk about that later on. However, what is trending today? Well, besides the obvious, trending across the internet today apparently is this. People are urging each other to delete their Facebook pages completely. So not just don't use Facebook for a few days. They are actually encouraging people to completely delete Facebook altogether and not use it. For various reasons, of course, we are talking politics. It is very hard at the moment to escape that particular subject, if I was honest with you. So this is what is trending at the moment. Hashtag delete Facebook. Apparently people feel that Facebook is being unfair to those who are running for political power in certain countries. That is all I am saying. If you want to add your opinion, you are more than welcome to do so, because of course we have the live chat. The live chat is now on. However, the big question is, who is first on the live chat on this Tuesday, the 15th of October 2019? Oh, hello to Andrea. Hello, Andrea. Are you excited? Are you happy? I really hope so, because you are first on today's live chat. Bravo, bravo. Well done. You have a very quick finger. Your finger is very fast. Yaman is here. Hello, I am Yaman. How are you? I have been waiting for a long time. Do you mean you have been waiting for a long time to say hello to me? Oh, okay then. Well, I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth the wait. Hello, Julie. Julie says, just a quick hello. So I get the feeling Julie is doing other things today. That's fine. I know many people, many of you out there have other things to do. So even if you only give me a few minutes of your time, I will be ever so grateful. I really will. Grace is here. Hello, Grace. Also, Anna. Belarusia, one of our moderators, of course. Amit is here. Giovanni. Hello also to Amit. Ram Zanura. And also to Patrick. Hi, boys and girls. Can you still say that? I didn't think you could say that anymore. I thought you had to say, hello, humans. Louis is here. Hello, Louis. Nice to see you here today. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We are still a very long way from Friday. I'm sorry. I have to break this news to you, but it is still a very long way from Friday. However, I hope my live stream will cheer you up. And don't forget, I am here every day during October. Let's have a look outside. What is the weather doing today? Oh, it looks quite settled. It is very autumnal today, so I would say that it really does feel like autumn. It is a little chilly, but not too cold. There is heavy cloud, but fortunately there is no rain. So today it is very still, very autumnal. I think that is the best word I can find to describe today's weather. I can't think of any other. Hello to Salami. Hello, Salami. Hello also to Andrea, Mariam, also Najuan, Toyland. Hello, Toyland. I have a feeling that Toyland is going to be very busy soon. Do you know why? Can you guess? Luis Mendez is here. We are talking about censorship today. Oh, Mr. Duncan, you are choosing such a big topic. Well, I suppose one of the best things about being here every day is you can choose many different topics to talk about during your time live. So when I'm here live with you, I can actually choose lots of topics also. I can choose maybe something that is trending, maybe a particular buzzword, or maybe an event, maybe a movement. There are many movements happening at the moment. So when we say movement, we mean people acting on a certain issue or cause. So the movement is normally a group of people who are being active. They are responding to a certain issue or cause. So, for example, I suppose in London, there have been many protests taking place over the past few days. by people who are concerned about climate change, and that is happening right now in London. So you might describe the Extinction Rebellion as a movement. They are trying to make changes. They are concerned about a particular issue, so they will become active in that area. However, when we talk about people protesting, quite often you might find that there is a certain amount of suppression or maybe censorship of certain topics and certain issues. So sometimes protesting is not allowed, or maybe it is discouraged. Hello also to Nasia. Hello Anna. Hello Vinamra. Hello Vinamra. Hello good teacher. To paint the lessons of life on the canvas of our heart. I am lucky to have a teacher like you. Good evening from India. Hello to you as well. I know I have a lot of people watching at the moment in India. Guess what? I am having some Indian food tonight for my dinner, or my evening tea, or my evening supper, depending on how you want to describe it. So tonight, for my evening dinner, I am actually having some Indian food. Ooh, very nice. Zusika is here as well. Christina. Hello, Christina. I feel, I might be wrong, but I feel as if I haven't seen you for a long time. Am I wrong? Or is it just my brain starting to dissolve in my skull? I don't know. Nasir, hello to you. Also Bayan, Salad, also Andrea. Wow, so many people already on the live chat. And now we are up to date. Christina says there is a movement about the global warming in the world. Yes, that is something I just mentioned that is going on in London and also around the world. Let's not forget that a lot of people around the world are also protesting. They are making their voices heard. They are making their concerns public. Pachu, sir, what is your opinion on the students that are learning more by TV and videos than textbooks? Well, what I always say, certain people will have certain ways, or maybe their own way of learning something. So you might find with some students, they might not enjoy reading textbooks all the time. So they might find other ways to improve their learning skills, whatever the subject may be. In my case, of course, it is English. So maybe people will watch my videos, they will watch movies, because they want to hear English being used. So I suppose it depends on the subject, but it also depends on the student. So maybe in schools, especially in schools nowadays, they do often use multimedia sources, such as video or the internet, to teach their students. So it is very common now to see students with laptops or tablet devices in front of them in their classroom. So to be honest with you, I think the times are changing as far as education is concerned. So many students are now getting their information or their teaching material from different places. So maybe they are watching movies, maybe they are watching YouTube videos like this one, for example. So I think there are many ways of learning anything. In fact, I find documentaries on television quite interesting. So sometimes maybe a subject that I don't know much about, I can learn about that particular subject from watching television. Maybe a documentary about history, or maybe it is a documentary about a certain part of the world. So I think nowadays, because we have so much information around us and so many ways of getting it, I think it's fair to say that many people nowadays, young people, older people, all people, use many different types of learning material to help them with whatever subject they are trying to learn. I hope that answers your question. So we are here today, and of course we are talking about many things today. We are talking about censorship, and also I suppose I should mention this as well. As we head through the week, we are coming towards the Brexit deadline. So here in the UK, we are making some big decisions this week. Many negotiations are taking place to try and work out what will happen at the end of this month, on the 31st of October. The UK is supposed to be leaving the European Union. Oh my goodness. G50 1998 asks, how are you? I'm okay. I feel pretty good. I had a really good night's sleep last night. As you know, I don't like losing sleep. I always like to have a nice, solid 7 or maybe 8 hours sleep. Pradeep asks, Mr. Duncan, have you ever tasted Indian kheer made of rice and milk with dry fruit? I haven't tried that. It sounds like a type of dessert. It also sounds quite yummy as well. Very nice. Hello also to Abdu. If you are having to do something, please tell me about the meaning of having to do. Well, if you are having to do something, it means you are doing something that you have no choice about. So you are being forced to do it. You are having to do it. So maybe your teacher tells you that you must do your homework tonight. So you are having to do it. You must do it. So in that respect, you are in the process of being told that there is something you must do. You have no choice because you are having to do it. You have no choice. Yasir, please can you tell the world not to overuse plastic? Well, this is a big issue at the moment, part of the climate change issue that many people are talking about. Yes, I think plastic has become quite a problem around the world. Hello also to Christina again. You are wrong, Mr. Duncan. I follow your lessons every day, but sometimes you don't see me in the chat. Oh, okay then. That might be the reason why. Mika is here. Hello, Mika. Guess what? I have received your photographs because Mika has been away, has been to a very beautiful scenic part of Japan. And I'm glad to hear that you managed to avoid the terrible typhoon that hit Japan a couple of days ago. So I'm glad to hear that you escaped that. However, you did mention in your email that you were delayed. So your return journey was actually delayed because of the giant typhoon. Luis Mendez, Mr. Duncan, I don't think that there is free information anywhere in the world. Newspapers, TVs belong to billionaires. For example, Rupert Murdoch is a person who owns quite a lot of the media. However, over the past few months, he has been forced to sell many of his shares, and so he doesn't have quite as much control now as he used to. So that's just to be fair. I'm just being fair there. I'm not taking sides. Of course, we can say that that it is worse in countries like China or maybe Egypt. I'm not going to comment on Egypt because I've never been there. However, I have been to China, and can I just say, yes, censorship is pretty much a way of life in China. So that is something I can talk about from experience. The strange thing is, when I was in China, there was a period of relaxation taking place as far as censorship was concerned. And the reason for that was because the Olympic Games were approaching. So as you know, in 2008, the Olympic Games took place in Beijing. And before then, many people in China were starting to be a little bit more open. The media was not being controlled quite so much. TV had a little bit more freedom. Reporting became less restricting or less restricted. So this is something that happened before the Beijing Olympic Games occurred. However, as soon as the Olympic Games ended, everything reverted back to how it was. So the internet was open. So the years preceding the Olympic Games, the internet in China was quite open. You could look at many, many different websites, Western websites. Then after the Olympic Games ended, pretty much as soon as the Olympic Games ended, all of those draconian laws and the way in which the media was controlled and all of the censorship returned, which included the blocking of many Western websites, including this particular website that you're watching right now. So YouTube is actually banned in China. It is blocked in China. And that occurred just after the Olympic Games ended in Beijing. Interesting times. Louis, the most important thing is to learn, so all methods are good. Yes, if it works for you, do it. That's what I say. That's what I say. Hello to Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Nice to see you here. Probably Brexit will last for about 2 years. It seems like somebody is making money on it. I'm not sure. Well, don't forget that the referendum occurred in 2016. And here we are now approaching 2020, and still there is no decision. So who knows what will happen? There are some commentators saying that it might not happen. At the last moment, everything will change and it won't happen. Who knows? The deadline is the point in time that something must be completed. Yes, I actually mentioned that word yesterday. So yes, I did mention the word deadline yesterday. There it is. So when we say deadline, we mean a moment where something must be done by or before. That is the point at which something must be completed. I've been asked to talk about a word that they heard yesterday. And this is something that was mentioned yesterday during the political chit-chat, maybe on the TV or radio. I've been asked if I could explain this word, austerity. So when we talk about austerity, austerity means that something is done strictly or enforced. Something that is done with importance or urgency, something that is done harshly. And as I said, the word strict is often linked to austerity. So in the case of the UK, austerity meant the cutbacks. So money was being spent less on certain things like the health service or maybe public spaces. So in that respect, austerity meant cutting back the spending on public services here in the UK. And that has been going on since 2008. So yes, around a decade. So we have had a whole decade of austerity, cutbacks, cutbacks, serious cutbacks, harsh, strict. And that is what austerity means. To do something strictly. It is enforced. I like learning English so much, says Ahmad. Well, I'm very glad to hear it. I'm pleased to hear that you enjoy doing that. There is a daily newspaper called The Metro in Belgium. We have the same newspaper here. So if you go on public transport on your way to work in the morning, you will see lots of free newspapers, normally on the buses or on the trains, so you can take one. And that is also called Metro. Isn't that strange? So I wonder if the publication here is connected to the publication in Belgium. Who knows? Yes, the one here is also free. So you can actually pick the newspaper up on the train or before you get on the bus. So yes. Hello, Mr. Duncan and everybody. Thank you, Kathy. Nice to see you here today. It is strange, isn't it? It is very strange to think that I've been here every day in October. But do you think it's a good idea? Is this good? Is it a good idea for me to be here every day teaching you? Do you think it is a waste of time? Maybe you think it is boring. Who knows? Let me know what you think. Sweet Life is here. Also, Rahul is here as well. Thank you, Rahul. Nice to see you here on the live chat. We are going back in time. We are going back to 2013 on this very day, the 15th of October, when I was doing my special month of English lessons. So, let's see what I was talking about on this day in 2013. Yes, my lovely red curtains are back, baby. Oh, hello, good morning, and welcome to day 15 of 31 days of Dunktober. How are you this morning? Are you fine? Are you dandy? I hope so. Here we are with another short lesson. And don't forget, later I will be sending some special hellos around the world to some special places. Do you ever exaggerate? If a person exaggerates, then they make something seem more than it is or was. For instance, they add things to a personal event to make it appear more exciting and dramatic. They make their situation seem much worse than it really is. They add details to a personal story that were not originally there. These things are exaggerations. A slight ache becomes a terrible pain. A light downfall of rain becomes a heavy monsoon. A tiny fish you caught with ease becomes a giant shark. We often exaggerate things as a way of getting attention. The bigger something is, the more dramatic and important it becomes. Of course, if you exaggerate too much, then people will stop listening to you. So it is best that you only do it occasionally. An exaggeration can be described as a tall story. You have embellished the details of the event. You have blown the thing up to make it more dramatic. The classic big fish tale is a good example of an exaggeration. It took me 20 minutes to catch that fish. It must have weighed over 40 pounds. As I pulled it from the water, it darn near tore my arms off. Of course, I had to put it back in the lake, and I had no camera with me, so I couldn't take a picture of it. But it was huge. It was ginormous. It was a whopper. Sometimes a person might exaggerate when they are feeling unwell. Oh, I feel terrible. My head is splitting in two. I think I might pass out at any moment. Please take care of me. Give me some attention. It is not unusual for someone to use very dramatic phrases after hurting themselves. Ouch! I just cracked my head on that low doorway. This aching tooth is killing me. I tripped on the stairs the other day. I almost broke my neck. I thought I would die of embarrassment. The dog nearly took my hand off. There are many ways to describe exaggeration. To overstate, to stretch the truth, to tell a tall tale, to amplify, to make a mountain out of a molehill, to embellish the truth, to blow something out of proportion, to make too much of something, to lay it on thick. We all exaggerate things from time to time. Those tall tales and wildly embellished stories add a little drama to the day. But it is best not to do it too often, because once a person believes that you are always stretching the truth, then they might have trouble believing you when it happens for real. There we were, going back in time, way back to 2013. I hope you enjoyed that. Ooh, and for those who are wondering, yes, this is 31 days of live English, and I will be with you every day during October. Oh, what do you think about that? Well, it would appear from your comments that many of you like the fact that I'm here every day, so that's nice. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Your efforts are outstanding, and the step you have taken is appreciated a lot. I like that. So, what course of content should be followed to teach beginners of the spoken language? Now, if we are talking about people who are starting English with no English whatsoever, I would always suggest using books. Something that is written down, something that is shown very clearly. Quite often you can find books that have pictures and also words as well. So I always find that if you are starting English from the very beginning, you need to teach some basic words. And the best way to do that is with a book. And quite often you will find beginners' books or beginners' courses in the form of a book, and inside you will often find photographs or illustrations with the basic words and also maybe a basic explanation of the word. And if you live in a certain country and you are learning English, you might also find that there is a translation from English to the native language as well. So it does depend, to be honest. Pat Chu says some people are less concerned about global warming, even though they do not believe that global warming is going to happen. What do you think? From my own point of view, well, I have to be very careful because I know that there will be people who disagree with me and also agree with me. So I have to be very careful what I'm saying. But I suppose there is definite evidence, but the problem is, and this is the problem that I always face when I'm talking about these issues, is the environment is something that changes over a very long period of time. In some cases, we are talking millions of years. Unfortunately, human beings, that's us, only have very short lifespans. So each one of us will just appear on this planet for a flash, for a moment. It is like the blink of an eye. So when we talk about the age of the earth, and then we talk about one human being's life, it is microscopic. So it's very hard from our point of view to see the overall chain or the overall event. So we are just seeing a brief snapshot of what is happening around us. So I think sometimes it is hard to come to a conclusion. However, you can, I suppose, make scientific studies to work out if things have changed over the last 30, 40, or maybe 100 years. But the problem is human beings have very short lives. That is the big problem. So it is a little bit like watching 1 second of a movie and then being asked to tell everyone what the plot is or what the story is about. So it's a little bit like that. So from my point of view, it is hard to judge what is really happening. However, I don't think we can dispute the fact that something is happening. I hope I explained that well. Hello also to Amit. Hello, Amit. Resolver. Hello, Resolver. Hi, Mr. Duncan. Big hugs for you. Thank you very much. Belarusia says something that is, I suppose, is true. If you want to make enemies, just say what you think. Now, I am a person who will often state or say what I think or feel. This is one of the things Mr. Steve's mum always says about me. She says, I like Duncan. Do you know why I like Duncan? It's because he says what he thinks. If you ask him a question, he will give you the answer. He won't try to give you an answer that you want to hear. He won't try to coat the answer with sugar to make it all sweet. So, for example, sometimes maybe a person might ask me, oh, does this hat suit me? What do you think of this coat? And if I don't like it, I will say, I don't like it. It looks awful. So yes, that is what is happening. I'm not going to have... Hello, Reza. Reza, if you are going to promote your podcasts, can you please ask me first? It is a little bit rude to just come into someone's live stream and start promoting your own podcast. Yes, that might be censorship, but it isn't. It is actually courtesy. So if you are going to come onto my live stream and promote your own podcast, can you please first of all ask if I mind or ask permission? In other words, don't be so rude. I've been asked to explain the word though. Well, quite often we use though in English to mean despite or despite the fact. So when we are adding something to a comment or when we are stressing one thing and then we are saying, even though that thing exists, something else can happen as well. So though can mean despite. Also, it can mean however. However. So the word though has more than one meaning. Sorry, Mr. Duncan. Yes, I should think so. You don't just come onto someone's podcast or someone's live stream and then promote your own without asking. So, yes, I think I am being fair. I put a lot of time and effort into this, let me tell you. Hello, you man. I think it's half true and half false because you are going to be tired and it's not pretty. It's not boring. It's 100% useful. But if you are not tired, it is very good. Please, can everyone tell me his opinion? You mean my opinion or their opinion? Yes, so do you think this is a good idea, doing this every day? Is it a good idea or is it a terrible idea? So we'll have to wait and see. Hello to Christina again. The glaciers are melting. Yes, we can see that happening. You are right. It is a very big problem in the world. There are fires in the Amazonian forest, and also time passes quickly. Yes, those things we can see. They are definitely happening because they are current events, and in some cases they are being directly caused by people. So yes, you might say that climate change is something that is happening gradually. However, there are definite events taking place that show that something is going on. And it isn't good. Talking about something that other people disagree with, especially when we are talking about the government or things that are maybe controversial, you might find that there will be censorship. Censorship. So when we say censorship, we are talking about the removal or the covering or the hiding of something that might be controversial, or maybe information that some people might use in the wrong way. So censorship is something that is common, and it has been around for a long time. Censorship was around during the Second World War, before the Second World War, after the Second World War. So to censor something is to hide something, remove, hide. You take something away from the public domain. You stop something from being seen. You try to suppress certain information. I suppose another word that you can use is control. So when we talk about censorship, we can also talk about control. You are controlling what happens around you. Now, control, of course, can be used in many ways. So to control can mean steer. So maybe you will control an aeroplane or control a car as you are driving. Control can also be used to talk about censorship. So when we have censorship, it is a form of control. So that is why we use this word in relation to censorship. Another word you can use when we are talking about censorship is suppress. So when we suppress, again, it is hide. You hide something. You push something from clear sight. Something cannot be seen anymore. Something cannot be read. So you suppress something. Quite often, a topic of conversation might be suppressed. You might stop people from talking about certain subjects. So when you suppress, you also have censorship. So censorship means to suppress. You suppress information, you suppress free speech. Suppress. Another one we can use, hide. Hide. If you hide something, it means you put it out of sight, somewhere where it can't be seen. So hiding something, well, you can hide yourself. You can make yourself disappear by standing behind a tree or out of sight or maybe in the shadows. So hide is often related to censorship. So you hide something, you make sure it can't be seen. When you want something to go away, you will often erase it. So to erase something, it means to make it disappear. Erase. Quite often, especially in this day of technology, you might find that certain essays or certain things that have been said on social media might be erased. So you erase what has been said. You make it go away. You erase. And once more, quite often with censorship, you will erase information. You will erase something that has been said, maybe something that has been written, or something that happened in the past. And there are instances of things that happened in the past, maybe terrible events, maybe something done by one country to another. And maybe the person who did the terrible thing tries to erase history. And it has happened. Then we have this word. Again, a word that is used a lot. Ban. Ban. Now, you can also say banish, which means to send away. So if you banish something, it means you send it away. You make it leave. It is no longer visible. So the word ban means stop. You stop something from happening. You put a hold on it. You ban that particular thing. So ban is a form of censorship. However, sometimes we will ban things for the safety of other people. So maybe we will ban smoking. So that isn't censorship. So if you ban smoking, you are doing it because you want to help other people to stay healthy. So sometimes the banning, so if you ban something, it isn't necessarily censorship. So this word has more than one meaning and one use. If you ban something, of course, you can be banned from a country. So maybe if you say something bad about a certain country, maybe that country will ban you from going there. Oh, here's an interesting one. If you publish something and you want people to read it, but maybe parts of the text are actual things that you want to keep secret or you want to keep them private, you will redact. So redact means to remove something by obscuring it. So quite often you will redact text. So if you publish a report and maybe there are parts of the report that you don't want to show, you will redact. You will take away those parts so they can't be seen. A quick hello to the live chat because I haven't forgotten about you. Don't worry. I will be going soon, by the way. Mr. Duncan, do you have any comment regarding the MBA issue with China? Well, this is something that is a hot topic. So this is an actual hot topic at the moment. And as I mentioned near the start of today's live stream, I did live in China for a few years. So I know all about the way in which the Chinese media and also the Chinese government will censor what people hear and see and say. And I can give a very good example of that. I used to teach adult English classes in China. In fact, I used to teach all ages. But something very strange used to happen during my adult classes. And this is what would happen. I would be doing my class, I would be there standing in front of all of my lovely students, talking to them, and then suddenly a couple of men would walk in and they would say nothing to me, and they would go to the back of the class and they would sit there for about 10 minutes whilst I was teaching. So I would just carry on as normal. I wouldn't say hello to them or anything. So they would come in and they would stay for about 10 minutes and then they would just walk out. That's it. So they would come in, sit down and then just walk out. And I asked one of my students, the first time this happened, I asked, well, what was that? What happened then? And they said, oh, they're from the government. They're just coming into your classroom to see and hear what you are doing. They want to see if you are saying anything bad or anything wrong. So they often will come in and they will listen to what is being said in the classroom. So even I was spied on by the Chinese government. One night I received an anonymous phone call from someone and they said, Mr. Duncan, I must tell you now, be careful what you say on your telephone because your phone line is being listened to. And then the person hung up. They put the phone down. These things actually happened to me. So when we talk about censorship in China, I know all about it because I was on the sharp end of Chinese censorship. I really was. I don't want to hear people abusing or using swear words. You don't have to do that. We can have a polite conversation here. Thank you very much. And no, I am not censoring that person. If you want to say something, say it in a polite way, please. Thank you very much. So, yes, Chinese politics is a very complex subject. It isn't just about banning something. It isn't just about censorship. It also has a lot to do with control, not outside China, but within China itself. I would imagine that YouTube is going to censor my video today. So I would imagine that there will be no ads appearing on this video. Restrict. There it is. There is the word. Yes, I think YouTube might restrict the adverts on my video, this video, because of the subject. So even YouTube will sometimes censor the people who make videos on YouTube. So don't forget, sometimes YouTube will censor what people say on YouTube. And you know that I have a very strong feeling about free speech and freedom. You either have it or you don't. It is never open for negotiation. That's what I think. So I always feel very lucky that I live in England. I live in the UK, where you pretty much have 100% freedom. You do. However, even here, over the past few years, certainly since 2001, there has been a lot more censorship taking place here in the UK as well. So sometimes you will restrict things. So if you restrict, it means you withdraw something or you take something away. So it can't be said or done or seen. You restrict something. Another word. I'm going soon. Wow, I can't believe how fast this hour has gone. Curtail. Curtail also means to stop something. So you curtail something. Limit is another word which can be connected to censorship. You limit something, you limit. So maybe you have a lot of freedom and maybe that freedom will be reduced over time. So you will limit. You will have a cut-off point for what people can say or do. Limit. Another word. Curb. Again, curb means to restrict or hold back. So if you hold back something, you curb the thing in question. So you might curb political free speech. You might curb what people can print or say on TV. You will put a block on something. You will hold something back. Curb. Ooh, he's a very strong one. eliminate. Oh dear. Now this is a word that can be used in many ways. Eliminate means to make disappear. You make something vanish. You remove it, sometimes by force. So if you eliminate something, you remove it, you make it disappear, and there are many ways of doing that. Some rather horrible ways of doing that. To keep people quiet, sometimes you have to eliminate them. Oh dear. Wipe. Again, if you wipe something, it means you remove. So maybe you wipe a tape, or maybe you wipe a video recording. You remove it so it can't be seen anymore. Cut. Again, you can cut something out. You can cut something so it can't be seen. Maybe you have a video recording that shows a politician doing something very naughty. Maybe that will be cut from the video. It will be removed. They will edit the video and remove it. So if you cut something, you cut it out, you remove it, you take it away from public view. This word is used a lot when the media is told not to report on a certain subject. Blackout. So we might have a media blackout. We might have a blackout. And that means that a certain subject or topic cannot be talked about or reported. There is a blackout. So we can use this also to describe the failure of the electricity supply. So if your electricity goes off at night, we can say that there is a blackout. Also, if you stop the newspapers from reporting, or the television stations from reporting on a certain issue or subject, that is also described as a blackout. And finally, delete. You take something away. You remove it forever and ever. It cannot be seen again. So if you delete something, you make it disappear. You erase the thing. You delete the thing. Maybe you delete an email. Maybe there is an email that you don't want people to see. You will delete the email. You will make it go away. Talking of going away, I am about to go away because it's now 3 minutes past 3 o'clock here in the UK. Thank you very much. I hope this has been interesting. I have enjoyed myself. I love coming here every day. And of course, I am here every day. 31 days of live English during October 2019, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m, Saturday, 12 p.m, just after midday, and Sunday, 2 p.m. as well. I will see you tomorrow for day 16 of 31 days of October. Thank you, Yaman. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you also to Huang. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you also to Eric. Bye, Mr. Duncan, and everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this today. It's been very interesting. I must admit, these are subjects that you don't see many English teachers talking about because they are a little afraid. However, you should never be afraid to express what you feel. Rahul says, ta-ta for now. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Thank you, Berlim. Thank you very much. Thank you, Milliver. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Bayan, Palmyra. Thank you to everyone. What a lovely live stream this has been. I really don't want to go. I wish I could stay longer. I really do. Okay, maybe another 5 minutes I will stay with you. Here is something that Mr. Steve and myself were talking about the other night. And quite often when we sit down together, we will talk about many different subjects. And we were talking about life before cell phones. So because Mr. Steve and myself, we are of a certain age, we can actually remember what happened and what life was like before we had cell phones. So nowadays, a lot of people take it for granted that they can walk around with their phone and they can always be in touch with their family and friends, and they can send their messages and they can take their Instagram pictures. So, yes, that is something we are going to talk about tomorrow. So, Mr. Steve and myself, we were talking, and sometimes we talk about many deep topics. So tomorrow we're going to talk about what we did before there were cell phones. Oh my goodness, how strange is that? And that is something we're talking about tomorrow on a live chat. Thank you, Yaman. Thank you also to Abdullah Bekova. I hope I pronounce your name right. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Many new words today, as always. Well, when we talk about censorship, I suppose we should also quickly look at the other words we can use as well. And these words are the opposite. So we have freedom. Freedom is a word that means to be free, to do and say, to be able to walk outside and enjoy the fresh air. So you have freedom. So most people see freedom as a human right. You might describe freedom as being something that is expected. So freedom. And then we have liberty. Well, liberty basically means freedom as well. You are free to do things. You have freedom. You have liberty. So liberty means to be free to do and express yourself. You have freedom. I suppose also we could use choice. So when we talk about freedom, we mean you are free to do, you are free to see, hear, and also choose. So when we talk about freedom, we might often talk about choice. You can have a choice. So maybe you want to do something, or maybe you don't want to do something. It means you have a choice. Openness is also a word that is often used when we talk about freedom. Freedom, openness, the ability to express yourself without any repercussions. So when we say repercussions, we mean punishment, or maybe something that will happen to you because you did that thing. So repercussions. Openness means to be free. And finally, now here is an interesting word. When you see this word, you often think that it might be a negative word, but in fact, this is a positive word. Emancipation means to be free or to be freed from your shackles. Quite often we will use this word in reference to the abolishment of slavery. So emancipation means to be freed from the chains or to be freed from slavery. I hope you've enjoyed today. Now I am definitely going. I thought I would do the freedom at the end of the lesson because it seemed very suitable. Thank you for joining me today. I hope YouTube doesn't punish me. I hope they don't take away all my lovely adverts, because I will really miss that £3.50. I really will. Louis, and before the internet, it was another world as well. Yes, we are going to talk about that tomorrow. We are going to talk about what life was like before we had cell phones. a little interesting, maybe. Also, I am in the kitchen tomorrow. I will be doing a little bit in the kitchen as well. Thank you, Bayan. Thank you very much, Christina. I am definitely going now. It is coming up to 3:10. This is Mr. Duncan saying you can catch me on these days. There they are. If you want to make a donation directly, you can. There is the address on the screen right now, because don't forget, I do all of this for free. It costs you nothing. Nothing at all. And of course, until tomorrow, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time. Ta-ta for now.